Mod Bikes is an Austin, Texas-based electric bike maker that is very different than most other direct-to-consumer e-bike companies out there, both in the local bike shop company culture they offer and the way they design and build their bikes. I recently got to visit the company's headquarters and saw the unveiling of their new 2024 line at South by Southwest, and I spent a few days living with the new Mod Cargo e-bike to get a true first-ride experience with it.
Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today I'm reviewing the new Mod Bikes Cargo. Come along with us while we check it out.
Starting with a high-level overview, the Mod Cargo looks outwardly like your standard long-tail cargo bike, and in some ways it is, offering a 400-pound capacity cargo bike designed for heavy hauling and utility tasks, in addition to normal transportation and commuting-type riding. But there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. For example, the company's founder Do showed me how the snap-on rack works, letting you mount accessories quickly and easily, and remove them just as easily, without needing to sit there for several minutes with an Allen wrench each time you want to change an accessory. And with that long rack, it's easy to fit many different types of seats, baskets, or other add-ons back there. And in a move obviously borrowed from turn bikes, the rear rack is designed to offer vertical parking, which is a great space saver in garages or even in the corner of your living room. Apartment dwellers, I see you and I live your pain every day. And there are other key differences too, like the bike's integration with the new Lumos helmet, where the turn signal buttons actually control the turn signals on the helmet too, and the same on-off button on the bike will turn off the helmet when your ride's over. So yeah, like I said, this is not your typical simple white-labeled cargo e-bike. But I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let's start off with the specs like usual. The bike rocks a 48-volt system, and so you can have either one or two batteries, each at 15 amp hours, to give you either 720 or 1440 watt hours. I know that's a lot of numbers, but basically it means you get either up to 45 or 90 miles of range. I also found that the dual batteries work great as a water bottle holder in a pinch. Back on the motor side, we've got a rear hub motor with 750 watts of continuous power and 1000 watts of peak power. It's torquey too, and checking the site specs showed that the motor gets a torque rating of 69 Newton meters. Nice. There's still a limit to just how steep of a hill it can climb, but this probably isn't the bike's normal use case anyway. Moving on to the components, the bike rides on 20 by 3 inch semi-fat tires, which has become my favorite size for these types of utility bikes. Even though 20s can feel smaller, the 3-inch tire width gives you back a bit of diameter and also adds more cushion, making it feel a bit more like a motorbike, especially in the turns. Complementing the cushioning are both a suspension fork up front and seat suspension. That seat suspension isn't really the same as true rear suspension, but it definitely adds some suspension for your rear, so we can play word games all day, but the fact of the matter is that the bike felt great on nature trails, which is somewhere I don't normally think about riding a cargo bike. And in true Texas fashion, sometimes the bike lanes just sort of disappear, and in those cases, it's great to have that extra suspension under you. Though I will give props to the city of Austin for having pretty good biking infrastructure, especially by Texas standards. Anyway, moving on, the rest of the bike component list includes some other nice-to-haves, like the hydraulic disc brakes, the sturdy center stand for stable parking when loaded down with cargo, and the 7-speed drivetrain, though I'm most excited about the inclusion of a torque sensor. There's nothing wrong with cadence sensors, but torque sensors just give an even nicer and more natural-feeling pedaling ride, so I'm glad to see that it's included. And when you're on a heavily loaded cargo bike with 2 whining kids on back, it's great to have the instantaneous response of a torque sensor, especially when starting up a hill. Alright, so what are the downsides to the Mod Cargo? Well, in my opinion, it's pretty much just the price. The single battery version costs $2,590, and the double battery version that I tested here is $2,990. That's a serious chunk of change. Yeah, you get a lot of good parts for that. The hydro brakes, the torque sensor, the color display, the good suspension, sturdy center stand, vertical parking, etc. But that is still an expensive bike. I've spent several days on the bike and I just can't really find any other downsides or weaknesses with it. Maybe that it's heavy, weighing just under 70 pounds with a single battery, but that's what you get with long-tail cargo bikes. They're just big and heavy. And to be honest, 70 pounds isn't that heavy compared to a lot of cargo e-bikes out there. Several others are between 80 and 90 pounds. So to me, the biggest hurdle when I'm looking at what bike to buy, and I imagine this is true for others, is going to be the price. There are of course other cheaper cargo e-bikes out there, and while they may have similar power and speed ratings, the Mod Cargo seems to rely on several of its other features and tech to differentiate it. And if you've got the extra cash, I definitely recommend this bike, because having lived with it for a few days, I used all of those extra features and I really liked them. And buying from a company that offers a 5-year warranty, free returns, and just feels like a local bike shop company is definitely worth something. But only if you've got the cash to make it work.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Mod Bikes Cargo. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.